play, tied for 4th in the league standings. TCU, the only team tied with K-State at the top. Both teams 7-0, and TCU wins the tip. We haven't seen the opponent win the tip a whole lot in Stillwater this year. Haley Van Lith, the Olympian, gives it back, three-pointer in and out. And Hurd comes up with her first rebound of the day.
You see a lot of ball screen action from TCU, a lot of it with Prince and Van Lith.
Magasa looking for help. Had already picked up her dribble. Gray couldn't turn the corner. 10 to shoot for the Cowgirls. I see behind the screen. The mid-range finishes off glass.
That nice possession right there. I see keeping that dribble alive and absorbing the contact as she turned the corner.
When any time you can get a shot up near the rim without Sedona Prince near you, that's a positive. There's the starters for TCU tonight. As a three-pointer is an air ball off the mark from Bigby. This TCU squad, Brendan, returned all of their top 5 starters from a year ago. They're not all in the starting lineup this year, but a lot of experience on this team to go with those newcomers in the transfer portal.
And terrific pieces. Obviously, the transfer from LSU and Haley Van Lith, least of not which, right, because of her playmaking ability, scoring and creating, but players like Taylor Bigby, who's excellent on the defensive end and also knows who she is offensively. This is a legit top 10 team in TCU.
From the mid-range, Gray off the mark. She's one of 3 transfers in the starting lineup for Oklahoma State as the ball goes out of bounds off of Oklahoma State. Mark Campbell in his 2nd year as the head coach at TCU, and as we mentioned earlier, they only won 6 conference games last year. They've already won 7 to start this season.
But during the conference season, they were competitive, and obviously another recruiting class which was elite, and he's done a remarkable job. Was really good at Sac State, where he took them to an NCAA tournament, but where he gained his most experience was an assistant at Oregon with all those great ball clubs.
Another miss, but another offensive rebound, and Connor doesn't miss a whole lot. 46% on the year, but missed an open look that time. Cowgirls got away with it. Underneath to Connor, back out to Bigby, who will try again. That one's good. Yeah,
if you give this TCU team multiple possessions, those offensive rebounds, eventually they're going to make you pay because they're so good on that end.
Those were all good looks as well, even though the first couple didn't go in. There's an unforced error. Lexi Smith throws the ball away.
Yeah, nice little pass right there. Connor obviously going to draw attention because the way she shoots it. And we talked about, you have the elite scoring with Prince, Van Lith, and Connor, about 55 points a game. But the others capable of playing off of those 2.
Van Lith off the mark. And a foul after the offensive rebound. That's 4 offensive rebounds early. Staley Hurd picks up her first personal. It's the team's first as well, and it will send Prince to the line.
So that, we touched on it already, Adam, but when you play TCU, you have to be sound in all areas. Some scouting reports, maybe a team is very perimeter-oriented, takes a lot of trays, but doesn't have much of an inside presence. So you extend and defend a little bit differently. Against TCU, you have the challenge of Prince with her size and her mobility. You have shooting. You have players that can take you off the bounce, and the ball moves. So all 5 defenders, when you play the Horn Frogs, have to be sound and focused.
Cowgirls back with it. Hurd can't finish from the elbow, and then Prince saved it back in. From the free throw line, off the arc. Cowgirls really like to push the ball in transition, and Smith hits the 15-footer.
They do, and they do a great job of sprinting the floors. You saw Smith run that right side, and I'll see a nice job of advancing it up the floor with the pass.
1-point game, a little more than 3 minutes in. Prince with the jumper, it rattles in.
Not much you can do about that.
No. Not when 6'7" is going to rise up from the baseline like that. Looking inside, Magasa. Good matchup here in the front court. Magasa stymied initially, misses from short range.
Oklahoma State will throw it in to Magasa, enough to keep you honest defensively.
Van Lith around the screen out to Bigby. She's got 2.
And so that's what happens. You have so much attention around that ball screen that Bigby, Robertson, when she's in the ball game, can just wait for the ball to find them with space to shoot.
After starting, I believe, 0 for 4, TCU has made each of its last 2 3-point attempts. Alexia Smith from the mid-range again. Cowgirls are shooting 50% from the floor, but trail by 4 a little more than 4 minutes in. Van Lith, the Olympic bronze medalist, kicks it out to the corner. Bigby fouled on a hip check. Called against Donna Granassi.
Well, here's Bigby, and so you get the rub right here, and so you really have to defend that. And you see Bigby come up the floor, so that creates distance for the recovery of Oklahoma State defense because they're helping, obviously, Van Lith turning the corner, and then Prince, who's there potentially to receive the ball. Tough to defend.
Jaden Wooten, the star freshman, in to guard Van Lith right now. Hunter around a screen. Got cut off by the Cowgirl defense. Man-to-man for Oklahoma State. Inside it goes. Praise Igorevba. Guarding Prince now. Kick out. Open look from the wing. Got it.
So much more than those big three. And you see Bigby knock down a couple already. Hunter right there.
Smith on the wing. To Igorevba now. Wanted Heward to cut through. 6 seconds to shoot. Wooten will step into a 3. Left it short. And rebound out of bounds untouched.
Well, more than just that 55 points a game from their top 3 scorers. Really good balance in this lineup. And you're seeing here is up high on the floor. And then for Oklahoma State, defensive urgency for obvious reasons. TCU, one of the most difficult teams to play against in the country. And then enjoy the game. J.C. Hoyt told us today in their big wins against Iowa State, Baylor, and West Virginia, she felt like her ball club played loose, played fearless, and then just enjoyed the moment. Another opportunity tonight to play an elite opponent.
That was a tough look for Van Lith that just went down, and now we have an offensive foul called against Oklahoma State. Second turnover of the game for the Cowgirls.
It's obviously a tremendous start for Mark Campbell and TCU, but if you're Oklahoma State, you just got to kind of stay the course. You knew it was going to be tough. TCU's going to have more stretches tonight where they're successful on the offensive end, even against good defense.
18-footer rips the nets for Sedona Prince. We've seen her make a couple of jumpers already.
And they can move her all over the floor. You know, at 6'7", obviously that is intimidating. But she obviously has made 2 open jumpers. Great off pick and roll. And they haven't even thrown it into her with their back to the basket in the post yet. That's another option they can do offensively.
All of a sudden, a double-digit lead for TCU. Shot clock down to 10 for Oklahoma State. They've had a tough time getting looks. There's a mid-range jumper. Wooten has it end up back in her hands. Can't hit from 12. And then a foul on the rebound against Praise Igorevba. That's her second in about the last 60 seconds.
One of the things that TCU's probably not getting enough credit this season, Adam, is their defense. They're so fun to watch, so clean and crisp most of the time in their offensive possessions that you forget really solid defensively. And they get out and deny one pass away and disrupt you. And they can pressure you out front because you have a rim protector inside in Prince.
Top 25 in points allowed per game as Magassa blocks that out of bounds. It'll stay with TCU.
Speaking of rim protection, here's Magassa rotating over. Nice job of just going up with 2 hands, using her size, and all those really successful shot blockers, Adam. They don't let you body up, and their timing is perfect.
Helpful to have someone who's long like Magassa that can rotate over like that, but That one-on-one defense on the perimeter is going to be imperative for Oklahoma State today. At the buzzer, three-pointer too strong. The rebound slapped down and taken again by TCU. That is 5 offensive rebounds for the Horned Frogs. Wooten able to soar in and get that one ahead to Heward as they wasted no time getting into transition. Staley Hurd. Sidestep jumper.
Well, one of the reasons Hurd's been so outstanding the last 5 games is she's becoming more aggressive, starting to take over at times when Oklahoma State needs a bucket. She did it right there.
That stopped a 7-0 TCU run. We have a whistle.
You want to take a look at that, Hurd?
And a lane violation against TCU. Let's go back.
Well, Staley Hurd is on a fast track right now to becoming one of the best players in the Big 12 Conference. Talent has always been there. Really doesn't have a weak part of her game, in my opinion. She plays both ends, distributes, can shoot it, rebounds, etc. She's always been a team player, but I think she's learning that for Oklahoma State to get to the next level, she has to go make plays, and she's been doing that lately.
She scored 14 or more in 9 of the Cowgirls' last 10 games, and sometimes she does it before you even really notice. Driving here, bank shot, no. Magassa, though, the offensive rebound, right hook too strong. Smith staying in front of Van Lick with the kick out to the open shooter off the mark. Hurd with the board. Facing up with Van Lith, who's among the most experienced players in the NCAA. 4 different Elite 8 appearances for Haley Van Lith. Next to the true freshman, Jaden Wooten. Here's Hurd, who spots up.
Again, that's the difference in Hurd lately. She a lot of times will let the game flow and attack as the game progresses. She's starting to do it from the tip.
Getting more consistent with the three-point shooting as well. Three-pointer on the other end, buried by Bigby. That's her 3rd. She's got 9 already for the Horned Frogs.
Well, you have to remember, Bigby was a top 30 player in the country coming out of the state of Nevada.
Smith from the corner. She rips the nets. And a three-point shooting contest is broken out in Stillwater. Only Smith's 6th made 3 of the year. Deflection, saved back in bounds, and Hurd couldn't quite bring it in. It'll stay with TCU, but we're seeing a little more energy out of the Cowgirl bench at the moment.
And also what you're seeing, you know, in big-time college games like this, Adam, you have to have your quote-unquote non-offensive stars step up. Somebody has to step up. What you're seeing so far tonight, you've seen it with Bigby and her 3 threes for TCU. And Alexis Smith with her 7 quick points here in the first quarter. Not normally a score.
That's off the foot of Wooten and out of bounds. Not a kickball violation, just a deflection. And Smith and Gray are 2 that are going to be guarding Haley Van Lith a lot tonight. So they've got a big task on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, you're right, Adam. And J.C. Hoyt told us today that those may be the 2 most important players through the course of this 40 minutes.
Hurd rips down the rebound. Cowgirls back within 6. And now with the basketball as 10 seconds are remaining before the end of the quarter. Now 5 seconds as Hurd didn't seem to realize. Picks up a screen. 1 second to shoot. Flings it up at the buzzer and it falls.
Again, I mean, the easiest way to explain it is both these teams play the right way. And they both shoot the 3 well. Sometimes get them a little bit differently, but they take good threes, and that's how you get the good percentages. So shot selection, decision-making, offensive IQ, very good for both these clubs.
Underneath, Sedona Prince caught it in a bit of a tough spot, but finished anyway.
Yeah, such great hands, presence, always under control. She's shot about 67% from the floor over the last 5 games, where she's been absolutely tearing it up.
Gray goes away from the screen. Bounces it to Magassa.
And we talked about it with Magassa. Came to Oklahoma State more as a defender, rebounder. But J.C. Hoyt does a nice job of keeping you, what I said earlier, honest. That was by design. Hopefully that frees up three-point shots out on the perimeter because of that bucket.
Prince on the drive this time. Scoring at multiple levels, Sedona Prince.
Yeah, and Magassa actually did a nice job not letting her turn the corner, but that's just elite basketball offensively.
See. Picked up a dribble, now needs some help. Into Magassa. 9 to shoot for Smith. Weaving through traffic. Bounces it out to nobody as it goes into the backcourt, and Gray will touch it for the backcourt violation.
There's that pressure of TCU. Really extending out on Oklahoma State.
And as you mentioned earlier, when you have somebody like Sedona Prince guarding the rim, that allows you to push out further.
Yeah, and you want Magassa in the game to lean on and combat Prince defensively. But you don't have to guard Magassa out on the perimeter, but you better guard Madison Connor right there. I mean, literally, maybe the best shooter in the entire country.
And Coach Hoyt before the game talked about her quickness of release, and we saw it right there. Gray let that one short. Van Lith head up into the front court. On the crossover, feeds it back. Prince spots up again. That one's too strong, and I'll see rebounds for Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State had gotten it down within 4. It's back up to a 9-point lead here for TCU. A little confusion here offensively for the Cowgirls. C comes to get it, gets a screen, elbow jumper. Back to
when you watch Asi use ball screens, she's not a jet. Not like she gets the angle and blows right by you. But she does have change of pace, and she's under control.
C with 4, all from inside the arc. She's not attempted a 3 yet. She's made 3 or more threes in each of the Cowgirls' last 3 games. Pick and roll again for Van Lith. Out to Bigby, 5 to shoot. Driving, off the front iron. Put back is blocked, but another offensive rebound. Deep 3 from Connor, got it.
Now, I mentioned that she may be the best shooter in the country. Obviously, she leads the country in three-point makes, but your eyes, Adam, if you know shooting, will tell you, I mean, it is pure when it leaves your hands.
Certainly not a volume shooter, 46%. I mean, she is a volume shooter, but she makes a large volume of 46% on the year from beyond the arc. 2 for 3 today. Bigby, who's got 3 triples of her own, has it deflected away. It'll stay with TCU.
Now watch this right here. This is off the miss. And what happens is you have a broken floor because of the offensive rebound, and she just steps right into one from almost, what's that, about 28 feet, Adam? Watch this right here. Has great footwork, gets in rhythm with a step 1-2.
Well, you don't have a lot of players that catch the ball that ready to shoot it that far away from the basket.
Here's the other thing. Connor averages a little under 5 assists a game. I mean, so she plays the right way.
Inside it goes. Fall-away jumper good for Prince. Right up over the top of Stacey Jones, who had just checked into the game. Wooten off the 1-foot jumper. No good. Offensive rebound. Stacey Jones has it at least affected, if not deflected.
Yeah, you love her effort. Used her quickness to get that offensive rebound. But that's a situation where you want to probably get it out and move it quickly if you're Jones.
Van Lith couldn't get by Wooten. Now inside to Prince. Prince bullying her away. Can't finish. Put back no. Got her own miss again and finally lays it in.
Yeah, J.C. Hoyt right now has gone to small ball. She said she might do this some. And it was effective, but you got to get those offensive rebounds, Adam. Our defense makes from long range. And then Haley Van Lith, who hasn't scored but 2 points tonight, but she put so much pressure on you with her ball handling and a player that could also go off at any time. Over the last 3 games, she's averaging 20-plus points a game. When you talk about
taking what the defense gives you. She makes so many of the right decisions as the Cowgirls miss from the wing. And if your point guard's making the right decisions, that makes it easier for the people around her to make the next right decision as well.
You know, she's always on attack, and it's terrific when you watch her use ball screens. She gets a lot of them from Prince. But Mark Campbell really has been a very good technician offensively, making sure it's getting set. Because when it gets set, if you're able to go around Prince, you're going to make the defense make a decision. You eventually have to pick your poison, and it starts with Van Lith.
Staley Hurd just picked up her second personal foul, so she goes to the bench for now. Open look for the wing. Short. This time rebounded by Smith for Oklahoma State. 10-0 run. Sorry, a 7-0 run for TCU. There's the elbow jumper. Alexia Smith has been all over the mid-range today.
Yeah, Smith more of a defender and a sure ball handler in terms of ball security, but she does have nice mid-range. I've seen her make 3 mid-range and then that 3-point shot here in this first half.
She's the leading scorer for the Cowgirls at the moment with 9. Van Lith guarded by the freshman Wooten. Bounces it back to Prince. Got Magassa in the air and a foul on the floor. It's the first personal on Tenin Magassa. Easy Heward will check in. Gray will get a rest. Micah Gray, the Cowgirls' second leading scorer, hasn't scored yet tonight. 0 for 3 from deep, 0 for 4 overall. And Lith lost it, got it back. Behind the screen now, Wooten just all over. Inside to Prince. Baseline drive. Looked like that might have been deflected, and it's rebounded by Heward.
Well, outstanding defensive possession from Oklahoma State, starting with the pressure on Van Lith by the freshman Wooten.
10 to shoot for Oklahoma State. Magassa, 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot, fires it. That might have been deflected. It's out of bounds before the shot clock goes off before it can go out of bounds. So it'll be TCU basketball.
Again, I mean, it's that TCU defense. It's very sound. Adam, they're able to pressure, yet for the most part, still be able to have ball containment. In that situation, you have to have an Asi or Wooten understand that late in the shot clock. One of them has to go get it and try to get into a ball screen action so they can get something.
Drive to the block. Magassa blocked the shot. Over the baseline, last touched by Asi.
So Magassa has really given great effort. 6'6" Magassa's had to go out on the floor and defend a little bit. Really done a nice job, an admirable job. It's just that Prince is just so talented.
Van Lith behind the screen. It's an air ball. The putback won't go as Magassa rebounds. Wooten took a hard hit on the screen. Heward into Magassa, who is demanding the ball. And we have a foul away from the basketball. That is the first foul called against TCU in this contest. And they don't foul often, less than 15 times per game as a team.
We have players like Hunter and Bigby who are really good perimeter defenders. And on those handoffs from Asi, see Hunter trying to fight over it.
An air ball from short range. TCU on the run. Number 9 in the AP poll for the Horned Frogs, their highest ever ranking. They had never been a top 10 team before this season. 3 weeks this year they've appeared in the AP top 10. Trying to stick around for that now. 8 to shoot for Connor. Inside the arc this time. It's too strong. Offensive rebound, though. Van Lith chooses to feed it inside to Prince. Turnaround jumper.
See, right there, we talk about decision making. I mean, that's just a veteran player. Van Lith could have taken a 3 or even driven. but was waiting on Prince to get low post position.
Asi gets the roll on the floater. She's got 6, all from inside the arc. The Cowgirls have only attempted 6 3-pointers. That's way below their normal average. They shoot the 40th most attempts per game in the country. There's an offensive foul, an illegal screen on Emma Nopu.
Well, TCU has done a really good job. We talked about finding Oklahoma State and extending on their shooters. And finding means when you transition from offense to defense, you turn, get matched up early, up high up the floor, so that Oklahoma State can't flow into those transition threes. And then you put them in the half court.
Wooten turns it over. And now Van Lith leading the break for TCU. Kick out, Hunter. Off the mark, long rebound is out of bounds off of TCU. 1 minute to play before halftime in what's currently a 12-point game.
Yeah, and a really important stretch right here for Oklahoma State. These are the situations you see all the time where you get a little momentum when you're down 12, get it under 10. I'm going to get a couple of possessions, potential 2 for 1, or it could flip the other way. More important for Oklahoma State to finish strong.
16-footer off the mark right. Magassa trying to keep it alive. Van Lith brings it down, and a foul on the freshman Jaden Wooten. And you know, Brendan, as much as we've talked about TCU offensively, overall they're shooting about 10% below their normal field goal percentage, but they're shooting 38% from 3.
Well, the game certainly settled in right in the second quarter, but that's what happens. These things usually, when you have good ball clubs, and they should, turn into more defensive type battles.
Prince sets the screen. Van Lith turns the corner this time. She is fouled, and it falls for the Olympian, Haley Van Lith.
So I talked about early, just elite ability to use the ball. So here's the ball screen, and then just the strong drive. And now had the help rotated over, if Hewitt had come over, she kicks to the corner for the 3. Smart player. And when she handles it out front, Adam, it's with surety. I mean, it is like an extension of her body.
Van Lith has only scored 4 points, a chance to make it 5 here, but she's dished out 3 assists and has not turned the ball over for the Horned Frogs as she makes the free throw. Shot clock is off in a 15-point game. 10 seconds before the half. 5 for Hewitt. And a whistle away from the basketball. That's called on Van Lith. Her first, the team's 3rd. Oklahoma State just 39% from the field and 2 for 6 from beyond the arc. Into Gray, 3 seconds to shoot. There's a 2 Asi, has to let it fly. Couldn't beat the buzzer that time. She hit a half-court shot against West Virginia last time out to beat the halftime buzzer. That one a little closer, but couldn't get it to fall.
Important part of their Big 12 conference schedule. The coaches say they don't look ahead, but we certainly can. Good win against Utah at home, who's a very good basketball team, an NCAA tournament team. And then these next 4, Oklahoma State, Baylor, Iowa State, K-State, they'll all be in the tournament. 3 of those 4 on the road. I think that's really going to show, is TCU legit, top 10 or not? And so far, I mean, they're answering that question in 3 halves of basketball, 2 against Utah, and the first half here against Oklahoma State.
Turnover there from Van Lith with called for steps, but yeah, I got to think if you're TCU and you can get a win here on the road at Oklahoma State tonight, you only have to win 1 of the last 3 to have a winning record against those 5 teams. For Coach Campbell, that'll go a long way in building some confidence for this team. They're trying to prove just how good they are over these couple of weeks here. Asi got by the defender. Magassa on the offensive rebound. Her jumper's off the mark. It's rebounded by TCU. A couple of misses from close range there for the Cowgirls.
That's that length of Prince. And Prince, obviously, with the shot-blocking ability, but she alters so many more. She's an intelligent defender. It's a good job of not letting you body up.
And that's deflected out of bounds. It will stay with TCU. And Prince, to your point, Brendan, blocks 3.5 shots per game. She only averages about 2 fouls per game, so she's not often in foul trouble either.
And that makes it very nice for the coaching of Mark Campbell. Have her on the floor.
Makes things a little easier, doesn't it?
He's a good coach anyway. It makes him an even better coach if she's on the floor.
Back to Prince on the wing, who needs to get a shot up. She does. It's too strong, and Smith gets the rebound for Oklahoma State. She's been really good for the Cowgirls all night.
Well, I know Prince can and did make jumpers in the first half, but you'd much rather her take shots 15 feet and further out and take your chances.
It's called against Agnes Imanopu, her second personal.
And I had no problem with the way Oklahoma State defended in the first half, at least their game plan. Make other people hurt them, and Bigby and Hunter were able to step up and knock down some shots. And I think you challenge them to do the same. Just don't let those big three go off.
Smith left it short from the free throw line. And now a 5-on-4 break here for TCU. Van Lith kicks it right on the sideline. TCU turns it back over. There were only 7 combined turnovers between these two teams in the first half, Brendan Manzer, and that's only the 3rd of the game for TCU.
Well, that's 3 straight stops out of the gate for Oklahoma State. And so far, offensively, nothing to show for them. I mean, they have to find a way to score during these stretches. Because at some point, even well-guarded TCU is going to have a little flurry offensively.
Gray lets it fly, buries it. Cowgirls are going to have to get her going in the second half if they want to make a run at this thing.
Yeah, and she's one of those that gets one to go down, and it kind of seems like that basket expands for her. Watch her over the next few possessions.
Three-pointer strong, and the Cowgirls get the rebound this time. Four-point contest. That's 4 straight stops for Oklahoma State. See on the dribble. Now Smith. Mid-range again. Front iron and out. Rebounded by Connor for TCU.
It's so difficult to get to the rim against TCU because Prince would just sit back in the pocket and stay back in the lane. And you have to have Magassa out there against her. But Magassa's not a threat on the perimeter, so you can't bring Prince out with you.
Van Lith gets a second shot at it and rattles it home.
We talked about it, Adam. I mean, that is the difference in the game here tonight. Those second chance opportunities. Oklahoma State defensively, their first shot defense has been more than adequate. It's just those second opportunities they've given up, and good teams will make you pay.
Gray gets a screen from Hurd, 8 to shoot. Sidestep, put the defender on the ground, but let the shot short. And it's out of bounds off of Oklahoma State. I think both Hurd and Magassa were fighting for it. One of them was standing on the sideline.
Here's a great hustle play by Imanopu right there. And then when you have those offensive rebounds, the floor is broken. Tough for defenses to recover. It frees up an excellent score in Van Lith from long range.
Full court pressure here from Oklahoma State. It's off the mark. Wooten had the rebound, and then it's out of bounds as Imanopu tried to get a hand in there. She was on the sideline. Cowgirls trying to find some offensive rhythm. Eward with 8 to shoot. Igorevba is fouled. She draws a rare foul on Sedona Prince. Remember, she only commits a couple a game. And Igorevba will go to the line.
Well, one thing you know is when Igorevba is in the ball game, she is going to have that motor running hot at both ends of the floor. Obviously not necessarily an offensive player more of a defender, rebounder with great energy. But she went right at Prince right there. It's almost as if it surprised Sedona just a little bit. Nice job by Egareva.
Missed both opportunities at the free throw line, though. TCU gets it right back up 15. Kick out, three-pointer. Strong. Wooten has to save it back in and finds Egareva. Cowgirls getting more stops so far here in the second half. Mid-range for Wooten. Good.
That's a look I think Oklahoma State can get.
Hurd deflects it, and it's off of TCU. And that'll get us to the under 5.
And you know, look, in high-level college basketball, sometimes you got to win a game 57-53, 62-58. This is one of those games, and the difference for Oklahoma State, at least, is just that they have not been able to get those defensive boards, which would allow them to run and get into some flow offensively as well. But credit TCU, they've been outstanding.
And that's one of Oklahoma State's strengths, not only their ability to get out in transition, but their ability to do it with multiple lineups because they're so deep this year and they've not been able to use that as a strength tonight. TCU has done a nice job keeping that away from them. 7 to shoot for Van Lith. Hard hedge by Egareva. Van Lith gets by her anyway and finishes with the left hand.
Of course, that strong hand going down that left side, but just, again, handles it with strength. Even able to absorb a little bit of contact from Egareva.
15-point game again. Blocking foul called against Eminopu.
Watch this right here. Egareva tries to hold her and keep her in that ball screen, but that constant attacking that you see Van Lith do every ball game. She continues to drive it until she was able to eventually completely turn that corner. It's an excellent finish.
Credit Van Lith for finishing through some contact as well, although not enough for a foul. There's a foul, and then one opportunity for Oklahoma State, Bill.
Well, J.C. Hoyt usually runs really good stuff on their underneath out-of-bounds plays. Just a little rub right there. Van Lith is trailing C in that situation and then doing a great job reading the defense. Gray right there, turning the corner with a curl.
Gray's free throw hits. This has not been a game where we've seen a ton of free throws for either team. 12-point game again. It's kind of been hovering between that 10 and 15-point mark in favor of TCU throughout the contest. Inside it goes. Prince pump fakes, put it on the ground, left it short, rebounded by Egareva. Hurd wants to attack, flings up a shot, it won't fall, but a foul. We'll see if it was on the floor. Nope, they'll give her 2 shots. Donovan Hunter picks up her second personal, and Oklahoma State getting to the line all of a sudden with some consistency.
Well, they're getting some stops with consistency here in the second half. Egareva on that end defensively, Adam, did a really good job. And Prince was able to get deep post position, but Egareva just stayed strong. And Hurd was able to drop in the lap of Prince.
That's just the second free throw make of the game for Oklahoma State. And now each team with 3 makes. As Hurd gets both, her first 2 points of the third quarter.
Yeah, and these dead balls and recent times Oklahoma State's been able to get to the foul line has allowed J.C. Hoyt to pick up the pressure full court, which has slowed down certainly the rhythm of TCU, even when they've handled the pressure.
Van Lith comes to get it for the Horned Frogs. Inside to Prince, guarded by Egareva. Kicks it back out, Hunter. Left it short, rebounded by Heward. Cowgirls getting some defensive rebounds now. Quick pitch up the floor to Hurd, who fires a 3. It's strong, but an offensive rebound. Eagle Redpath snuck in there somehow. Her shot is deflected. Saved back in bounds, right to Hewitt, who drives. Her shot is blocked. Van Lith now in transition for TCU. Pitches it to Hunter. Hunter took what seemed like a bunch of steps, but is able to finish on the right side in a crazy sequence there.
I tell you what, and both coaches have arguments about some of the contact at both ends of the floor, but the officials by both Mark Campbell and J.C. Hoyt were getting an earful.
Wooten in and out, rebounded by TCU, and it feels like a couple missed opportunities there for Oklahoma State. .212 to play here in the third quarter. Cowgirls trying to make it interesting, and the energy building a little bit here, but TCU with a chance to take the wind back out of the sails. Imanopu, too strong. Rebounded by Eagle Redpath, who's putting in good minutes right now. Wooten pulls up. Short. Down to Hewitt off the rebound, and she finishes.
Now Oklahoma State starting to attack the offensive glass, and Hewitt, Adam, was able to come up with that because, again, Eagle Redpath's motor, she kept that ball alive there for the Cowgirls.
Moments like this are where Oklahoma State's depth can really come into play. TCU has only played 7 players in this contest, and it has been a hectic few minutes. Inside to Prince, great position. She's fouled and one. Sedona Prince caught it in great position and finished on the right side for her first points of the second half.
I like this right here because you get movement from block to block. This is pretty simple. See, basically get ball reversal, you come back, and Prince had come from the left block to the right, and when she did that, she was able to be in front of Eagle Redpath, and that's just a tough matchup if you get behind her and she's isolated. Really good call, I think, offensively by Mark Campbell on that ensuing putback by Oklahoma State.
Eagle Redpath will exit the game having picked up her third foul, but she's got 4 boards in 7 minutes. Brought some high energy those last few moments. The free throw off the mark from Prince. Still a 12-point game with 1:20 to play in the third. Herb driving. Short jumper.
That's just a strong drive, rip and attack, little false action overload on that right side so that Herb could go down the left.
Van Lith, always confident with the basketball. Kicks it. Bigby, inside to Prince. Guarded by Magassa. It's poked free, but it falls out to a teammate. Kick to the corner. 2 seconds to shoot. Bigby lost control, and Wooten comes up with the steal for Oklahoma State. Wooten attacking through contact. She finishes for Oklahoma State. An 8-point game with 30 seconds to play in the third. Ten to shoot, the shot clock is off. Van Lith around the screen. 6 to shoot, gets another. Van Lith kicks it to the near side, it's a turnover. One and a half seconds into Asi from half court. Oh, so close to blowing the roof off of this place, but the Cowgirls, Brendan Mans, are with.
Because the ball's in her hands a lot. The biggest thing, only 1 offensive rebound in the third quarter for TCU, and then Oklahoma State turned TCU over 5 times. And that's how you cut a 15-point lead into 8.
TCU had only turned the ball over 2 times in the first half. On a great Asi reverse layup, and it's a 2-possession ball game in Stillwater.
And there's that change of pace that Asi provides. You'll hesitate, freezes the defender. You can't relax on her. Nice little smooth, subtle move along the baseline.
And Lith guarded by Wooten, who's done a pretty nice job staying in front of her tonight. On the screen. Some contact, open look for 3 is short and rebounded by Oklahoma State. Smith one-on-one. Hurd with a chance to cut the lead down to as little as 3. 11 to shoot. Smith. Now Wooten, 5 to shoot for the freshman. Wooten drives it on Van Lith. Her shot is deflected, and Van Lith comes up with a rebound as well.
Well, that's excellent defense right there. Wooten tried to shake Van Lith, did not bite on it. It's big time one-on-one D from Van Lith.
Wanted to feed it inside. Here comes the double team dump off to Bigby. It won't fall. The rebound tipped down and taken in by Staley Hurd. As the Cowgirl depth come into play here. Magassa, high post. Smith snakes through the screen. Hurd. Bumped. Magassa to Asi. Asi from 18 feet. Off the mark. Rebound slapped out, but taken by TCU.
That's the first time on 3 tries that Oklahoma State actually used the screen. I think rejecting it helps TCU.
Bounce pass underneath. Prince couldn't finish it, slapped out, but taken in by TCU, and a foul on Staley Hurd trying to hustle for the basketball. Picks up her 3rd. She had 2 about midway through the 2nd quarter, her first since then.
Well, that's great effort right there by Bigby. The Staley Hurd very seldom gets beat on a 50-50 type basketball. Bigby, great effort right there to keep the possession live for TCU.
TCU has struggled a bit in this second half. Both teams shooting under 40%, and both teams in the top 20 in the country in field goal percentage on the year. Van Lith gets it back. And to give it away, Connor bounces it. Prince from the mid-range this time. Off the mark, rebounded by Oklahoma State. 0 for 4 to start the quarter for TCU. Wooten gives it out. Cowgirls on a 2.5-minute scoring drought of their own. Staley Hurd, tough look, too strong. Almost like she thought she might be more open.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Oklahoma State got back into this game because of defense, and TCU now tightening up their half-court defense once again.
Magassa with the foul out near the perimeter. That's just her 2nd personal foul, so she's not in a whole lot of foul trouble, although she will come to the bench here as Igarevba checks in. Praise has put in some really good minutes for the Cowgirls tonight. They'll need more of that here.
Well, the freshman Wooten for Oklahoma State getting heavier minutes here the second half, and it's because of the reason you brought up earlier. Can't completely stop Van Lith as you see her get the basket right there.
Prince with the putback in, 1 for TCU.
That's the problem. They don't handle the ball screen well, and they'll set them all over the floor. The strength of turning the corner forces Igarevba to help right there. Frees up Prince on the back end right there, and that's all she wrote.
Free throw good for Sedona Prince. She's got a game-high 21 and pushes the lead back to 9 for TCU with 6.5 to go.
And I think with Van Lith, although she can handle it right on those ball screens, you have to force her back to that right side.
Mid-range jumper off the mark, but a foul, and Gray will go to the line. Madison Connor picks it up, just her first.
So in other words, that last ball screen was on that right wing. That gives Van Lith plenty of room to get downhill going left. You have to force her back towards the baseline and take your chances that way.
Gray's first free throw off the mark, and again, that's her strong hand going that direction.
Easier said than done, right?
Both free throws missed, and the Cowgirls have struggled from the foul line. They haven't gotten there a ton. Now just 3 for 6 on the night. Sorry, 3 for 7. TCU with a chance to push it back to double digits. Skip pass to Bigby. Nearly carried the ball around the rim. It goes too late and falls. TCU back up 11.
But mostly well defended by the Cowgirls right there until late. Nice job of TCU driving that middle of the defense.
C comes to get it, 12 to shoot. Skip pass to Wooten, 6 to shoot as she gathers on the perimeter. 3 to shoot, pull-up jumper, falls for the freshman Wooten. Full court pressure.
Yeah, tough shot as she rejected that ball screen. That ball got great range.
A whistle and a timeout from Coach Campbell as his team had only a few seconds left.
Elite players at their particular position. But defensively, they've been really good tonight. But conversely, Oklahoma State the second half. I mean, they've cleaned up the defensive rebounding. They've defended better. Were able to cut it to 6. But that's, I've said it. That's what it takes at this level. You can't, in the Big 12, the upper tier of the league, you just can't expect to go out and score people every night. You have to play that into the floor. Both these teams have done that.
Two teams used to scoring it in the 80s. It's going to be well under that here today. 3 seconds to shoot for Connor. Connor shot is blocked, flings another one up. It's off the mark, never hit the rim. And the shot clock violation gives it back to Oklahoma State. And credit to Magassa there for staying vertical when the ball was kind of bouncing around as we're now at the under 5 media time. Games with a block. I believe this is at least her 3rd game this year with 5 or more. And she has helped keep Oklahoma State within single digits here, but the Cowgirls got to find a way to get the ball on the hoop down the stretch.
Yeah, Magassa playing even heavier minutes tonight to try to neutralize Prince. Now there's that mid-range shot right there. Prince is not going to hedge. A lot of times they're going to go behind that. Wooten, she's going to have to consistently make them as you come down the stretch, but that is a fairly decent look that Oklahoma State can get just about every possession.
Says a lot about the confidence they have in the true freshman as well. Van Lith behind the screen. Gives it away, 5 to shoot, inside now. Prince trying to turn the corner, underneath the basket, 1 to shoot. Her shot is blocked again, and the shot clock violation will give it back to Oklahoma State on the 6th block of the night for Tinnen Magassa.
Now watch Magassa, she gets isolated inside. Prince tries to turn the corner, but Magassa continues to move her feet, doesn't leave the floor, just contests.
Wooten buries another from the mid-range, and Oklahoma State back within a couple possessions.
That's the look. That's the look right there.
All 10 of Wooten's points have come in the second half, all 10 from the mid-range. Van Lith on the wing. Hard hedge from Magassa. Van Lith has to give it away. 3-pointer left wing. Short. Rebound off the deck. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Oklahoma State basketball.
So a couple of things. J.C. Hoyt likes Wooten there, making a decision for the mid-range. And here it is. She uses the screen. See, Prince is not going to come to Wooten. Prince is going to stay right there mid-lane. You're not going to get to the rim. Let's see if they go back to it right here.
Horns look for the Cowgirls. Wooten this time from beyond the arc. Off the mark right, rebounded by TCU.
So to me, that is a tired play by Wooten. And understandably so, settling for the 3-point shot.
Van Lith shook the defender. Kick out from the corner for 3. No good, but Van Lith comes up with the rebound. Steps over Wooten and lays it in.
Toughness right there. That's the look that Oklahoma State continues to give up. But what a great job by Van Lith to outmuscle Wooten for that offensive rebound.
Wooten from the baseline this time hits again. You're seeing the freshman go toe-to-toe with one of the most experienced players in the country. Van Lith, the only active D1 player with 1,900 points, 500 rebounds, and 350 assists. And the Horned Frogs turn to her again here. And a turnover. Hurd stuck with her, and the call is that Van Lith dribbled it off her leg and out of bounds.
And what's happened with Van Lith is what we talked about earlier. They are not allowing Van Lith to turn the corner going left. In fact, the last handful of possessions when she's gone right, she picks up her dribble quickly and you get it out of her hands. That time, Oklahoma State switched. Hurd just continues to pressure her, but not allow her to turn the corner.
2 minutes to go. Staley Hurd drives, and she finishes, and one for Staley Hurd, who has made it a one-possession game.
We talked about Staley Hurd starting to take over games. She has that ability. Strength, grip, drive, confidence right there.
To make it a 2-point game. Got the roll. Hurd with 14. Emma Nobu with 4 personal fouls. And the Cowgirls have found a way within 2 with less than 2 minutes to go, and an offensive foul.
Yeah, just a little bit of frustration right there from Van Lith. She's keeping a cool head, but there's so much pressure. That's a shove up on Wooten. And when you do that high up the floor in the open floor, you're going to get caught.
That's back-to-back turnovers on Van Lith after turning the ball over twice in the first half. TCU has done so 9 times in this second. For the tie, it's good!
Mid-range, Adam. Mid-range. It's there at any time Wooten wants it.
Full court pressure, 90 seconds. Connor from the baseline. No, rebounded by Hurd. The Cowgirls can take the lead with a bucket. Out to Hurd. Wide open look.
I mean, Mark Campbell at some point in this run has to get a timeout.
Under a minute. The ball poked free. Knocked loose. And the Cowgirls come up with it on the hustle play from Hurd.
I don't know why you don't stop momentum and get a timeout right there. The crowd is into it. Momentum shifted several possessions ago, Adam.
It's a 10-0 run over the last 2 minutes for Oklahoma State. 16-2 since the halfway point of this fourth quarter. Oklahoma State by 3 and a timeout from J.C. Hoyt sends the crowd.
Right here if you're Oklahoma State. Obviously 11 on the shot clock.
Made it look easy. 7 to shoot, trying to make it a 2-possession game. Hurd slipped the screen. Wooten all the way. His shot is blocked. Out of bounds. It'll stay with Oklahoma State with 2 seconds on the shot clock, 22 on the game clock.
Again, you're not going to get to the rim right there with Prince. Good defense.
Inbound to Asi. Flings it up. She's fouled.
Boy, this is a tough foul. You want to be there on the catch. And I'll see a good job of selling it right there.
Asi, who came in making 3 or more threes in 3 straight games, has not made one tonight, but has a big chance at the free throw line. And that makes it a 4-point game. Now a chance to make it a 4-point play-proof ball game.
You know, this may be a bad example, but Barry Switzer would run a play until you stopped it. And TCU has not stopped it.
Van Lith quickly, can't finish. And then a foul on the rebound as it's pulled in offensively. They got Wooten for it. Hits her 3rd personal. 2 shots coming up here for TCU in a 5-point game with 16.5 to go.
Yes, so plenty of time. So you have a chance right here with Prince on the line for TCU. Get some points on the board with that clock stop. Important this one is if you make it, you can set up your full court pressure as well.
Too strong. And a foul on the rebound attempt as Magassa went to the floor. The positive for TCU is effectively no time ran off the clock. That's called on Bigby, her second. Now for Magassa, just a 50% free throw shooter on the year. She goes to the line in a big spot. 4-point game. You can make it a full 2-possession game if you get both.
And so Mark Campbell inserts a 3-point shooting lineup right here. Takes Prince out of the game.
First one off the mark. The Cowgirls will not send a rebounder up.
Mark Campbell probably will get timeout. Yeah, he does right here.
0 for 2 on Magassa as the
defensively for Oklahoma State, because they still allowed the non-Connors and Van Lifts to get open looks from long range, and that has worked because here in the second half, they're 1 of 9 TCU is, right? Correct? From a 3-point range. And
Bigby 3 for 5 from 3 in the first half, 0 for 3 in the second half. Van Lift, 12 seconds to play. To Connor, follow-away jumper is off the mark. It got stuck, but a foul called. And Connor will go to the line for 3 free throws with just 9 seconds to play. Magassa's 4th personal.
Yeah, that is just not a good foul if you're Oklahoma State. Let's take a look at it right here. Good play drawn up, and then Magassa contests. But you got to allow that jump shooter plenty of room to land. She did not, and Connor at the line.
Connor, an elite free throw shooter in addition to being an elite 3-point shooter. 84.5% on the year, makes the first. And the second.
And you love the look because you got to get Madison Connor a 3-point look on that possession.
Got all 3. We talked about TCU limiting Oklahoma State's 3-point chances in this game.
A lot of ball, though, left at him right here.
9 seconds seems like an eternity at this point. The Cowgirls have the ball in the front court. They get it into Asi, who's fouled running towards the baseline and will go to the foul line. Oklahoma State up 1, 7.5 seconds to go. The Cowgirls have held TCU to 34% from the field and 28% from 3-point range. They're top 15 in the country in both of those categories this year. Asi misses the first in a silent Gallagher arena.
That changes a lot. What TCU does right here. Now keep in mind, Mark Campbell does have another timeout available.
Missed them both. And a timeout for TCU with 7 seconds to go. The Cowgirls just 6 of...
And if you can get it off in 3 or 4 seconds, so you would have a second chance opportunity if you miss.
TCU led by 15 into Van Lift. Fall away, off the mark, rebound, out of bounds. Cowgirl basketball. The clock is at zeros at the moment. The officials are going to take a look. They may put time back on the clock here. But that's a tough look for Van Lift. The Cowgirls defended the inbounds play well.
And I guess Mark Campbell just wanted to get it into his playmaker's hands in Van Lift.
If I read lips correctly, here we go.
The previous play is on the further review for time and error.
So they're looking for the timing. If I read her lips correctly, I think she said that it would be black ball, but they're looking to see if more time should be on the clock.
Well defended by Alexia Smith, who's probably the strongest one-on-one ball defender for Oklahoma State. So that was by design to make sure Van Lift was defended by Smith.
So it's clear that Prince was the last one to touch it. there are two things at play here. One, did the ball hit the out of bounds before the clock hit 0, which I think it did, but two, Prince might have had a foot on the baseline, which would actually mean there's more like a second left.
It'll be 1.1 on the game clock. Black ball
1.1.
out of bounds on the end line.
I think that Prince's foot was on the baseline when she touched it, and that's why there's so much time still left on the clock. But Oklahoma State still in a good spot here, up by 1 with 1 second remaining. The Cowgirls have taken their timeout amongst all this hullabaloo, so they get to get the ball with an inbounds play. Here's a look at the clock.
Yeah, you're correct. Prince reached over her right shoulder. Her right foot was along that baseline. 1.1 seconds here. So remember, Oklahoma State now out of timeout, so the ball's got to be entered. They'll have a spot sideline throw in right here.
Advancing the ball after the timeout.
Yeah, it's huge.
One second, they lob it into Hurd. Runs away from the defense, and for the first time since 2017, Oklahoma State has defeated an AP Top 10 opponent, coming from behind from 15 points to defeat TCU.